As Scarlett will say, she did 10 years of work and I came in and ruined it.
We have to go back to where it all started.
Where did you think I was all this time?
We have unfinished business.
Hello, Florence, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. First question, the sister dynamic between you and Scarlett Johansson was so much fun to watch.
Enough, all of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.
How did you approach that element of the role specifically?
The coolest thing was that we had an amazing connection. And as Scarlett has said previously, you never know that when you come on board a production. You don't know if you're going to have good chemistry. So something that was really wonderful to see come from these characters was it was because of our good chemistry that our relationship on screen ended up, blossoming in ways that weren't originally there. Lots of the love and the jokes and the tenderness that you see was just over, I suppose, a film's worth of time of us really actually being together and hanging out together. And I think we were very lucky in that sense. And it just meant that our connection in our characters could have so much room to grow and could go in so many different wonderful new directions because there was that there and we could easily lean on it. Scarlett was so welcoming and our characters really grew off that as well.
One of the funniest things between your characters was this internal riff on the pose. This is a movie that centers the women and goes out of its way to not sexualize them. How did that whole, the joking with the pose come about?
Well, sadly, as Scarlett will say, she did 10 years of work and I came in and ruined it. It all happened because I was in the stunts warehouse and they were like, Flo, now that you're this character, you're gonna have to come up with a pose. And I was like, yeah, but what is Scarlett's pose? Surely that would hurt when she lands if she was actually landing from a height. And they were like, oh yeah, all of the poses, if you actually landed like that, you'd break your back, you'd break your knees. And I was like, oh my goodness, does Scarlett know that her pose would have her broken? So on set one day, I was like, Scarlett, when you do this, this is super dangerous. And what is this pose? And Eric Pearson, the writer, was in hysterics. And Scarlett was just like, I can't believe you're taking the piss out of this thing that I have created and made. Eric Pearson was just basically taking notes in the corner. And he was like, oh yeah, that's going in the film. Which is why whenever I do it, she's always got this little smirk on her face.
Put your seatbelts on. She's such a mom.
You are so open about your life on Instagram. What is it about the medium and being so open with your life that really appeals to you?
I don't think I'm open about everything. I do have lines. I think it's really important that you make a distinct point about what you're willing to share and what you're not. I think for me, I'm seeing more and more of Instagram becoming a place that is, you can have pages that are genuine and honest, but I think for me, it's always been important to show both sides of my life. There's a very wonderful, exciting, glamorous side where I work with my team, like for example today, and we make all of these amazing artistic choices and I go in fantastic dresses to fantastic places. And then there's also another side, which is very normal. And I think sometimes that side gets forgotten. And I think social media being something that is incredibly big on every single adolescent's phone. I have a younger sister that has had it from a young age, and I really found it important that I needed, for her sake and for all of her friends' sake, for them to see that it's just as important to have spots on your chin as it is for you to have, a good shot with the girls on the weekend. It is down to big Instagram accounts to help out with that and to really see how much what we post could potentially be damaging, even if it's in a positive way, the things that we're posing. I think the way that Instagram is set up is that it shows an ideal life, and we all know that those aren't the moments that happen every single day. And I just think I've found it incredibly important to just be a bit more honest and open and show the normality of life as well as the wonderful things. And I enjoy that as well, because I like being genuine, and I don't like being anything other than what I loudly am. So I think I'd probably go mad if I couldn't do that.
I love that answer. Thank you so much for being so generous
Thank
with your
you,
answer.
Alex.